I can still hear the echo of our wedding music when I close my eyes. Even now, sitting alone at my kitchen table with cold coffee circling in my mug, that same soft piano line drifts through my head. Slow, romantic, trembling like my hands were that day. I remember the way my dress felt against my skin, satin that clung just enough to remind me I was alive, breathing, standing at the start of a life I had fought so hard for. My wife, God, calling her my wife still makes my chest tighten. She was glowing. Her name is Lena. Was. She stood at the end of the aisle in a simple white suit instead of a dress, her dark hair pulled back, eyes glassy like she was trying not to cry. When I reached her, I whispered, "Don't look at me like that, or I'll fall apart." She smiled and whispered back, "Too late." Our families were there. Mine sat on the left side of the chapel, my mom twisting a tissue in her hands, my younger brother grinning like he'd won the lottery, and my dad, stone-faced, in the front row. He had never approved of Lena. Not because she was a woman. My dad had surprised me by being okay with that part. What he never accepted was who she was. Different background, he'd call it. Different values. Different kind of people. I ignored him. I loved her anyway. When the pastor said, "You may kiss your bride," Lena pulled me in so fast the room laughed and clapped. I remember tasting champagne on her lips and thinking, "This is it. This is my life." That night, we danced in a rented ballroom strung with warm lights like fireflies. My dad stayed near the bar the whole time, arms crossed, watching us like we were a mistake he couldn't erase. At one point, Lena squeezed my hand and said, "He'll come around." I wanted to believe her. 2 days later, we were in our new apartment, boxes everywhere, clothes piled on chairs, takeout cartons on the counter. We were laughing, exhausted, sprawled on the couch like two girls who had just survived a hurricane of love and chaos. Then my phone rang. My dad's name lit up the screen. Lena glanced at me. "You should answer." I hesitated, then picked up. "Hi, Dad." Silence for a beat too long. Then his voice, colder than I'd ever heard it. "Come over. Now." "Why? It's late." "Don't argue with me." Before I could respond, he hung up. Lena watched me carefully. "You don't look okay." "I'm fine," I lied. "He's probably just being dramatic." We drove to his house together. The street was quiet, lined with neat lawns and motion sensor lights that flickered as we passed. His porch light was on, harsh and white, like a spotlight. When we stepped inside, the air felt wrong. Thick, stale, tense. My mom wasn't there. My dad sat at the dining table with a manila folder in front of him. "Sit," he said, not looking at Lena. We did. Lena reached for my hand under the table. I squeezed back. My dad slid the folder across to me. Inside were photos, screenshots, bank statements, messages printed out. My stomach dropped. They showed money transfers, large ones, from my parents' account to an unknown recipient, dates, amounts, timestamps, and Lena's name attached to them. "What is this?" I whispered. My dad finally looked at her. "You tell me." Lena's face went pale. "I don't know what this is." He slammed his palm on the table. The sound cracked through the room. "Don't lie in my house." I jumped. "Dad, stop." He cut me off. "She's been stealing from us since before your wedding." My heart pounded so hard I thought I might faint. Lena stood up. "That's insane. I would never—" Before she could finish, there was a knock on the door. Not gentle. Loud. Firm. Police knock. 2 officers stood on the porch when my dad opened it. One of them looked at us, then at Lena. "Lena Morales?" he asked. Her voice shook. "Yes? Step forward, please." I stood up so fast my chair scraped across the floor. "What is happening?" The officer kept his eyes calm, professional. "We have a report of fraud and theft involving your parents' accounts." My dad folded his arms again, this time with something like satisfaction in his posture. Lena stood up, eyes wide, panicked. "Baby, I swear to you, I didn't do this." My chest was burning. "I believe you." But the second officer was already pulling handcuffs. The metallic click sliced me like a knife. "No, you can't. She just got married. She's my wife." They took her by the arms. She reached for me, tears spilling over. "Don't let them do this to me. Please, don't let them do this to me." I grabbed her hand as they pulled her back. For 1 second, our fingers were locked, desperate, trembling, clinging. Then they slipped apart. The cuffs snapped shut around her wrists. The cold sound echoed in my head. Outside, a police car waited with its lights silent, but its presence impossible to ignore. As they led her down the steps, she kept looking back at me, whispering my name like a prayer. "Amelia, Amelia, Amelia." My dad stood behind me and said quietly, "You married a criminal." The door slammed shut, and I was left alone in his hallway, shaking, staring at the empty space where my wife had just been dragged away in handcuffs, accused of a crime I didn't know whether to believe or fight. My phone buzzed in my hand. A new message from an unknown number. 3 words. She didn't steal. I looked up at my dad. He was already watching me.
My phone was still vibrating in my hand. The hallway felt suddenly too narrow, like the walls were inching closer, breathing with me. The house that used to feel like my childhood's safety now felt like a sealed box with no air. I stared at the message again. She didn't steal. My thumb hovered over the screen, heart hammering so loud I was sure my dad could hear it. "Who is that?" he asked behind me, his voice calm in a way that made my skin crawl. I turned slowly. He was standing exactly where he had been, hands resting casually on the back of a chair, jaw tight, eyes sharp. "Who texted you?" he repeated. "I don't know." He stepped closer. "Let me see your phone." "No." The word came out harsher than I meant it to. His brows knit together. "Amelia, don't be stupid." Something cracked inside me. "Don't call me stupid," I snapped. "You just watched my wife get arrested in your living room 2 days after our wedding." My voice echoed off the walls. My dad's face hardened. "She brought this on herself." I laughed, a broken, hysterical sound I barely recognized. "You don't know that! You wanted this!" His lips pressed into a thin line. "I wanted you safe." "Safe," I whispered. "You just destroyed my life." My phone buzzed again. Another message. "Check the folder again. Look closely at the timestamps." My hands shook. I moved back to the table and flipped open the manila folder with trembling fingers. My dad followed me, hovering like a shadow. The numbers blurred at first. Dates, transfers, account names. My chest felt tight, my vision tunneled. Then I saw it. A transfer dated 3 nights before our wedding. $48,000. But next to it, a location marker. A bank branch in downtown Chicago. I looked up. We were in Miami that night. My dad froze. "We were in Miami," I repeated, louder now. "We were at our rehearsal dinner. You were there." He shifted, just slightly. "People can steal remotely." My pulse throbbed in my ears. "She doesn't even have your account information, Dad. You know that." Silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. My phone buzzed again in my palm. Another message flashed across the screen. Your dad knew about the transfer before tonight. Outside, a police siren wailed in the distance, closer than it should have been. The room felt like it tilted. Not physically, but inside me, everything shifted at once, like the floor had dropped 2 inches and my body hadn't caught up yet. Rain dripped from my mom's coat on the polished wood, slow, dark circles spreading like bruises. The woman from the bank stood just inside the doorway, tablet tucked against her chest, eyes careful in that professional way means, this is about to hurt you. I stared at my dad. He was perfectly still now, too still. The kind of still people get when they're bracing. My phone buzzed again in my palm, but I didn't look at it this time. I couldn't take my eyes off him. "Mom?" I whispered, my voice cracking. "What are you talking about?" She looked at him first. He didn't look back. Her jaw trembled. Then she turned to me. "There was an investment. Years ago. Your father moved a large sum into a high-risk account without telling me." My heart started pounding so hard I felt it in my throat. "What does that have to do with Lena?" The bank woman cleared her trough softly. "We flagged unusual movement from a linked account earlier this week. The transfers did not originate from Miss Morales." My dad finally spoke. "That's not what the police were told." The words hit me like a slap. I turned on him. "Then what were they told?" He exhaled slowly, like a man choosing his battlefield. "I told them I suspected your wife had access to our financial information." Rage burst through me so hot my vision went bright. "You suspected?" I shouted. "You had her arrested in handcuffs on a suspicion?" My mom stepped between us. "Amelia, calm down." "No!" I shoved my chair back so hard it screeched. "He let them drag her out of this house like a criminal 2 days after our wedding." My dad ran a hand over his face. "I was protecting us." "From what? From your own mistake?" The bank woman tapped her tablet. "The surveillance you referenced earlier, the person using the account at the Chicago branch was not your wife. We have already confirmed that." My stomach twisted. "Then why was Lena's name attached?" Silence. Heavy. Thick. Crushing. My mom looked at my dad again, pleading now. "Tell her." Outside, tires crunched on gravel. More than one car this time. Doors slammed. Voices drifted through the rain. Closer. My dad swallowed. Then he looked at me. Really looked at me. And for the first time since I was a child, his certainty was gone. "It was easier," he said quietly. "Easier for who?" Before he could answer, there was another hard knock at the door. Not police this time. Urgent, demanding, afraid. My mom opened it. 2 detectives stood there, rain beating on their shoulders. One of them held up a badge. "Mrs. Carter?" he asked, my dad's last name. "Yes." "We need to speak with your husband, now." My pulse roared in my ears. I stepped forward. "Where is my wife?" Both detectives looked at me. The taller one hesitated. Then he said very carefully, "Miss Morales was transferred to county jail an hour ago, but there's been a complication." Cold spread through me, from my chest to my fingertips. "What kind of complication?" He glanced at my dad, then back at me. "She never arrived."
For a moment, the world went completely silent. The rain, the house, even my own breathing. Then everything crashed back at once. My ears filled with a rushing sound like I'd gone underwater. "What do you mean she never arrived?" My voice came out thin, distant, not even sounding like mine. The detective shifted his weight on the porch, water running off the brim of his hat. Transport left your father's residence at 9:14 p.m. Records show the vehicle checked out of dispatch. It never checked back in. My knees went weak. I grabbed the back of a chair to stay upright. The wood bit into my palms. "Lost?" I whispered. "You lost my wife?" The shorter detective stepped forward. "We don't believe it was an accident." My heart slammed against my ribs. Then what was it? Before he could answer, my phone buzzed violently in my hand. 3 rapid pulses this time. I looked down. A new message. "Don't trust the police." My chest tightened so hard I felt sick. I looked up at my dad. He was pale now, truly pale, his jaw clenched, eyes flicking between the detectives and me like a man trapped in the tightening circle. The bankwoman spoke quietly behind us. "If a marked vehicle deviated from protocol, there will be GPS logs." The taller detective cut her off. "Those logs are missing." The word echoed in my head. Missing, like Lena. My mom grabbed my arm. Her fingers were ice cold. "Amelia, sit down." "I am not sitting down," I snapped, panic ripping through me. "You took her from me, and now she's just gone?" Footsteps sounded again outside, fast this time. Another officer jogged up the porch, rain streaking his face. "Detective," he said urgently, "we found the transport unit." My breath hitched. "Where? Where is she?" He hesitated. Too long. "Where?" I screamed. He swallowed. The vehicle was abandoned near the river bridge, doors open, no officers inside. My vision swam. Abandoned. Open doors. No one. I turned on my dad, tears burning my eyes. "This is your fault. All of this is your fault." He opened his mouth, then stopped. My phone buzzed again. My hands shook as I unlocked it. Another message appeared. "She's still alive." My chest jolted. "She's alive," I whispered out loud. Everyone turned to me. The detective stepped closer. "Who's texting you?" I stared at the screen, heart pounding so violently I felt dizzy. Before I could answer, a video file loaded beneath the message. My thumb hovered over it. I pressed play. The screen flickered, grainy night footage, shaking, close. And then I saw her, Lena, on her knees in the rain, hands still cuffed in front of her, hair soaked, face streaked with water and tears. A man's voice, distorted, low, came from behind the camera. "Tell your father to confess." Lena lifted her head slowly toward the lens. Her eyes found me through the screen, and in a broken whisper she said my name. "Amelia." The video ended. At that exact moment, my dad's phone rang on the table. Loud, shrill, relentless. I looked at him. He looked at the phone, and neither of us moved. The phone kept ringing, high, insistent, cutting through the rain, the room, my heartbeat, like a blade scraping against glass. My eyes flicked between my dad and the phone on the table. He stared at it as if it were alive. His hand hovered in the air, then dropped again. "Answer it," I whispered. He didn't move. "Dad, answer it!" The detective stepped inside now, rain dripping onto the foyer floor, tension thick enough to taste. My mom pressed a hand to her mouth. "John," she breathed. The phone rang again. I slammed my palm next to it. "Answer it!" He flinched. Finally, slowly, he reached out and picked it up. He didn't say hello. He just pressed it to his ear. Silence stretched, sharp and brittle. Then his face changed. Not anger this time, not control. Fear. Real, naked fear. I felt my stomach twist. "Who is it?" I demanded. He covered the mouthpiece, eyes darting to me. "Don't say anything." Rage ripped through me.
If that is about Lena, you will not shut me out. Not now." From the speaker, a faint, distorted voice bled through. Tinny, filtered, wrong. "Put your daughter on." The room went completely still. My dad's hand tightened around the phone. "No." The voice laughed, low, almost amused. "Then your wife dies." The words slammed into me like a physical blow. I lurched forward. "Give it to me!" My dad hesitated, a fraction of a second, then placed the phone in my shaking hand. I lifted it to my ear. My voice barely worked. "Lena is my wife. Let her go." A pause. Then, "Good. You're smarter than him." My chest burned. "Where is she?" Another pause, longer this time. I could hear wind, water, something distant like traffic or trains. Then a woman's breath, ragged, close to the microphone. My breath hitched. "Amelia," Lena whispered, weak, desperate. I felt my knees tremble. "Baby, I'm here, okay? I'm right here." A shuffle, muffled voices, a sharp sound, like metal hitting metal. Then the man came back on the line. "You want her safe?" he asked. "Yes," I said instantly. "Please, I'll do anything." Silence. I looked at my dad. His face had gone ashen. The detectives were speaking urgently behind me, trying to track something, gesturing at the bankwoman's tablet. Rain hammered harder against the windows. The man exhaled slowly into the phone. "Then you're going to make your father tell the truth." My heart slammed. "I already tried," I shot back. "He won't." "Not to you," the man interrupted. The word chilled me. "Then who?" I whispered. Another pause. Then, very clearly, "To the world." At that exact moment, every light in my dad's house flickered once, twice, and went out. Darkness swallowed us whole, and somewhere in that darkness, my phone buzzed in my hand with a live video notification.
The room plunged into black. Not a gentle darkness, a violent one, thick and suffocating, like the house itself had held its breath and died. For a split second, I couldn't see, couldn't think, couldn't even feel my own body. Then sound came rushing back. My mom screaming my name, chairs scraping, detectives shouting, rain hammering the roof like 1,000 fists. My phone screen lit up in my trembling hand, the only light left in the house. Live video. My heart hammered so hard I thought it would tear out of my chest. I pressed it. The screen flickered, then cleared. Lena filled it. She was still on her knees, but now she wasn't outside. She was in an abandoned warehouse, concrete walls slick with water, a single hanging bulb swinging above her head. Her hair was plastered to her face, mascara streaked, lips trembling. Her hands were still cuffed, and behind her, the man. I never saw his face, only his silhouette, tall, steady, standing just out of the light. My breath broke. "Lena, baby!" Her eyes locked onto the camera, and when she saw me, something cracked open in her expression. Relief, terror, love, pain, all at once. "Amelia," she whispered. My dad's face appeared beside me in the glow of my phone. His reflection shook on the screen like a ghost. The man's voice came through, calm, cold, altered. "Your audience is live." My phone vibrated again, thousands of tiny reactions flooding the screen. Viewers, comments racing too fast to read. I realized with horror, this wasn't just a call. It was streaming everywhere. My dad stared at Lena on the screen, his face crumbling in a way I had never seen before. The man spoke again. "John Carter, tell them what you did." Silence. Heavy, crushing, final. My dad swallowed, eyes wet, shoulders sagging like a man who had carried a mountain for years and could finally no longer stand. He stepped closer to the camera. "My daughter's wife is innocent. She never stole from us." The comments exploded. Police sirens suddenly wailed in the distance, close now, closing in. My dad continued, voice breaking. "I moved the money. I hid it from my wife. I panicked when the bank flagged it, and I blamed Lena because I didn't want my family to see me as a failure." My chest burned. "Why?" I whispered. He looked at me, really looked, tears streaming now. "Because I couldn't stand losing control of you." On the screen, Lena lifted her head, stunned. The man stepped closer behind her. "Good," he said. "Now, apologize." My dad's voice cracked. "Lena, I am so sorry. I destroyed your life. I destroyed my daughter's marriage. I am responsible for everything." A beat of silence. Then, in the warehouse, I saw something move behind Lena, headlights reflecting off a wall. Police. Lots of them. Blue lights splashed across the screen. The man cursed softly. Lena looked over her shoulder, then back at me, eyes wide. "Amelia!" A loud crash, doors bursting open, shouts, footsteps. Chaos filled the video. The man stepped out of frame. For one terrifying second, I lost sight of her. "Lena!" I screamed. Then she appeared again, struggling to stand, drenched, shaking, as officers rushed toward her. One knelt and began unlocking the cuffs. The metal fell away. She collapsed forward into his arms, sobbing. My knees gave out. I slid to the floor, phone pressed to my chest, tears pouring down my face. The lights in my dad's house flickered back on. Silence replaced the chaos, broken only by my sobs and my mom's crying behind me. On the screen, Lena looked up. She found the camera. She found me. "I'm alive," she whispered. And in that moment, I knew. Everything had changed. My dad would face charges. Our family would never be the same. Our wedding photos would forever be shadowed by handcuffs and sirens. But as Lena was lifted gently to her feet, free, breathing, real, she mouthed 3 words I will carry for the rest of my life. "Come get me." And I knew I would, no matter what came.